Hi, I'm Tim and you're watching me, MrTimTech, on YouTube. Grandstream have sent me this. Now, you may think that it's quite a small box, which yes, it is. However, inside this box is a little bit of a powerhouse, and it's the Grandstream GWN7062E Wi-Fi 6 router. What we'll do is take a look inside this box, and then we'll go into the interface and see what this Grandstream home router has to offer. Now, just to confirm that this was sent to me free of charge by Grandstream, all views and opinions in this video are of my own, and Grandstream have not seen this video before being uploaded onto YouTube. Let's take a look inside this box and then access the web interface, and I'll show you what this little powerhouse can do. So here we are, and this is what's inside the box. You get the UK power adapter. Of course, you'll get the country power adapter to which country you're buying this in. It features a USB-C connection plug on the end. You get the label with the MAC address, the Wi-Fi default password, and the default SSID. And Grandstream always provide these labels, but you can also find it on the bottom of the device as well, here on the label. You get a Cat5e cable, you get the quick installation guide, and of course the GWN7062E router itself. Now, at the back we have three RJ45 1 gigabit ports. Now, any one of these three ports can act as the WAN or internet connection to your internet service provider, so it automatically detects which one is which. So for example, you can connect it to port 1, and then you would have 2 extra ports available to connect to wired devices should you so wish. There's also a sync button. Now, this sync button is for meshing purposes. So what you can do is mesh these Wi-Fi routers together, and then next to that we have the factory reset recessed button, and then we have the USB connection there for the power cable, as you'll see, which plugs in there. Now, this is rated at 5 volts 3 amps for the power output, and it's rated at also 15 watts of power. Now, this is a small compact box, as you'll see, very light, very inconspicuous. Now, immediately taking this out of the box, I immediately thought, yes, this is neat, tidy, easily sit on the shelf. You can actually wall mount it, as there's 2 holes there which you can hook this onto 2 screws which you would put onto the wall should you so wish. Now, another thing I like about this, it's compact. Now, as you know, you get some routers these days that look like alien spaceships, to be honest, and they just sat on the shelf and they look so conspicuous there that Grandstream have actually done the opposite and made this inconspicuous, so it just sits neatly on a shelf out of the way. On the front we have the Grandstream logo, which is embossed into the actual plastic casing, and then at the top here, which you can't see because it's inside underneath the plastic cover, is a status LED bar. So it goes for about, say, 1 inch across the center there, and that tells you the status of the router. Now, it's a Wi-Fi 6 router, and it's powered by a ARM Cortex A53 chip, which is rated at dual core 1.3 gigahertz. It can support up to 128 wireless devices with Wi-Fi speeds up to 3 gigabits per second. So this is targeted at home users or home office workers, or for example also small offices as well. So you have 3 or 4 people in your office, then this will be ideal for that as well. Now, it's packed full of features in this web interface, so what we'll do is take a look inside the web interface shortly, and I'll show you all of the features inside this box. Now, it may look basic, but I can certainly tell you it's not. So without further ado, let's get into this box and see what it can do. So when you first power on the Grandstream GWN7062E router, it will change the lights colours to green, and then once it's changed from green to purple, you will then be okay to connect to it. So what I've done is already connected my PC to the wireless network, as you will see here, and it's GWN7062E, which is the factory default wireless SSID name. So I've connected my PC to this network and opened up a web browser. So in the web browser, you need to type in 192.168.80.1, which is the factory default IP address for the Grandstream routers. So once you've typed in the IP address in the address bar of your internet browser, you can then press enter, and you should then be presented with the login page, as you'll see, saying sign in to GWN7062E. So in the username box, the default username is always admin in lowercase, and then the password is also the wireless SSID password. So we'll paste in the password, which I've just done, and then once you've done that, you can click on sign in. Then it will ask you to reset the password. So what we'll do is give it a new super secure password from my lab. Then it will take you back to the sign in page. So what you need to do is re-sign in with your new password. So the username will still be admin, and then once we've signed in, you can see it's saying welcome to GWN7062E. So it's saying quick setup. So what we'll do is go through the quick setup, and here this will take you into the quick setup screen. Now as you can see, we're on option number 1, which is for time zone. So we'll select the country or region as United Kingdom, which is correct. And then the time zone is UTC for Dublin, Edinburgh, Lisbon and London. So we'll click the blue arrow button. Then it's asking us to set up the internet connection. Now for the internet connection, we've connected it to WAN 1. So it's the first WAN port on the left hand side, if you're looking at the back of the router, that is. So for the internet connection type, mine is dynamic IP. So it obtains the IP address automatically with my internet service provider. However, you just need to obtain your internet service provider details from them, and they will tell you how to connect the router to their internet connection. So then what we'll do is click on the blue arrow to go to the next step. Then it's asking us to set up the Wi-Fi name. Now you can set up 4 SSIDs on this. So in this case, we'll just leave the Wi-Fi name as the default. Wi-Fi bands being 2.4 and 5G, so that it accepts 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So we'll leave that as 2.4 and 5G. Security mode we'll set to WPA2 and WPA3, so that we can support both older clients and WPA3, which is the newer standard for newer devices, for example. For the password, we'll leave that as factory default, which is this. So we'll just click on the blue arrow to go to next, and then it asks you about automatic upgrade. Now this is disabled by default, but you can of course change this to automatic, which if you're a home user, then it might be worthwhile doing that. Then we'll click the blue arrow to complete, and then gives you the confirmation for the configuration to be saved. So we'll just click the tick. So now it's configuring, and it's saying configured, finished, and it's giving you a QR code so that you can use it to scan to connect to Wi-Fi clients should you so wish. We'll just click close. Once you're in, it takes you straight into the network map. So as you'll see, we've got internet, and then we've got the speed that it's currently running at. So this is data transfer speed and not the speed that it's connected to the internet at. So just bear that in mind. Then we've got GWN7062E, which is got the box around it. So that's providing information for that. And what you can do under this is click on router information, which will give you the IP address, MAC address, software version, uptime, and then you can click on Wi-Fi, which will then give you the Wi-Fi network details, and then you can click on port, which will show you the network ports. And then you can also select clients. So this will show you the clients that are connected to your Wi-Fi network. And as you can see, we've just got one, which is WRK1, which is the PC that I'm running and connecting to at the moment. So in the top right corner, we've got some icons. We've got add new router. So you would click this if you want to add a meshing facility. So you can add more than one of these routers to your home network so that you have meshing. Now, the next one is intelligent detection, where that it detects the security protection, network connectivity, connection rate, signal quality, and so on. We have a next one, which is quick setup, which we've already done. So we'll exit this. Then we've got the cloud GDMS networking option. So if you want to manage your router and home network in the cloud, you can do by connecting it and linking it to GDMS networking, and it's Grandstream's free cloud networking. Then we have the username. So you can select the language for this interface. You can reboot the router or you can log out. So going on to the left hand side, we've got the basic setup. So we've got network map, traffic statistics, which will provide you in-depth details of traffic in your Wi-Fi network. QoS. Now in QoS, you can see we've got various setup options. So we've got auto mode, which is ticked, game first, video first, or web first. So it will apply various bandwidth profiles with the QoS function. However, it's actually disabled at the moment. So you can actually enable it and then choose which mode you want, or you can just set minimum and maximum bandwidth manually should you so wish. So moving down from QoS, we've got home care. So this is for example, you can block or restrict internet Wi-Fi clients from accessing the internet at various times of the day. So this is ideal for example, parental controls. So you can allow your kids to only use the internet certain times of the day. Then we go to security firewall. So here there's security firewall built in. So we'll enable basic security defense and click save. And here you can see it's now enabled the security firewall protection. So what we can do is just click refresh and you'll see we've got no protected events. So it's not detected any events at the moment. So then moving down, we've got cloud. So this is where you would also connect it to GDMS networking or the GWN manager. So moving down, we've then got advanced. Now here you'll see there's a whole load of options. Now I have to say, for the size of this router, Grandstream have packed it full of facilities and options in here. Now for what you're getting for your money, now here in the UK, these routers are priced at about £40. Now for £40 here in the UK, for what you're getting with this, all the options and features is actually brilliant. So I think Grandstream have done a fantastic job of this. So anyway, moving on, we'll go into the advanced and select overview. Here you'll see we've got the internet connection, the router, the client, so it shows you the number of clients, information about the Wi-Fi networks, real-time rates, historic traffic, client history, top clients, apps that are using it, so it will say work, others, and it will build up this graph as more and more clients connect. So the statistics here is actually brilliant. Now moving down, we'll go to system info, and here it provides you with the CPU usage. Now as I've said, this features an ARM Cortex A53 processor, which is a dual core processor rated at 1.3 gigahertz. So moving down, we've got internet settings. So click on internet settings, you'll see we've got WAN settings. So for example, if your internet service provider is using MAC address tagging, then what you would do is you can enter a custom MAC address. So then moving down, we've got LAN settings. So here we've got the IP address of the actual router itself. We've got then DHCP service. So this acts as a DHCP server, this router. Then we've got an option called triple play. Now, what this does is, for example, if your service provider at home, so the internet service provider, also provides you with, for example, IPTV or voice over IP, then you could actually use this router for that as well. So that's what the triple play option does. So for the time being, we'll just cancel this. Then we've got Wi-Fi settings. So here we've got Wi-Fi where you can set up 3 more additional wireless networks. Then we've got the meshing option, which I've talked about. So you can add another Grandstream GWN7062E or ET router, give your meshing facility in your house. Then we go up to clients. And here you'll see it provides a list of your Wi-Fi clients. So there's various operation icons here. So you can click on those, rename the client, select I for the information. So it'll give you information about just traffic statistics, what they're using, what websites they're accessing and so on. Then we've got another option which looks like a paperclip, which you can bind it to a static IP address. Then we've got another option which is add to block list. So what you can do is block this client from accessing the internet if you so wish. Then moving down, we've got traffic management, so traffic statistics, QoS and so on. Then we've got NAT, which is port forwarding, DDNS, UPnP, which is disabled by default, which I like to see. Then we've got DMZ. So half of these options in there. For home users, you wouldn't be touching those NAT options. Then for security, we've got security firewall. So we've got basic security defense, and we've also got content security detection. So if we enable that, save it, and then go to defense statistics, you'll see we've got information in there which will provide you with information that's blocked. So if we click on content firewall, you'll see we've got URL filtering. So what you can do is add custom URLs, but if we click on the URL classification filtering, you will see that Grandstream have put a whole load of categories in there which you can block. So for example, they're all currently set to action as allow, but for example, you can tick these and just select block, or you can go into individual ones and select block or allow from there. Now they've done a fantastic job of these categories. So you'll see in these categories, for example, in adult, there's 93,540 URLs that are blocked. We can also go into app filtering. So for example, you can select gaming. So click on this and it will bring you a whole list of games or apps that you can actually block on your network. Now they're all by default set to allow. So if you want to, for example, block a whole category for gaming, then what you would do is just select block on that. And then it will block access to any gaming site in that list there. You can see we've got Age of Empires, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Bubble Witch. There's a whole load of selection in there, which you can pick or allow, whichever you decide to do. So we'll just put that back to allow at the moment. So these security features I would recommend using if you're a home user or home worker, or for example small office where you've got 3 or 4 staff that just use laptops, for example, or mobile devices that need to connect just to Wi-Fi. Then these facilities for the security blocking is actually fantastic for what they've put in there. Then we've got block list, so we can just add to the block list should you so wish. So we can add a MAC address which will stop the client from connecting. Then we've got also VPN. So for example, they've got WireGuard, IPsec, OpenVPN, PP, TP and L2 TP in there. So if you're wanting to use a VPN connection, then I would certainly recommend WireGuard. So as you'll see, we've got VPN services, we've got fantastic security firewall service in this router, and for 40 quid here in the UK, what you're getting is actually fantastic for the money. We've got IPv6 as well, so you can enable IPv6, so it does actually support that for the WAN and the LAN. Now these are both disabled by default. So we've then got captive portal. So if you want to set up, for example, captive portal, so what you would do is to access your wireless network, you would be presented with a login page on a web browser, so that you'd, for example, put in your username and password to access your wireless network. You can also set up vouchers, guest, splash page, so you can configure it by clicking add and then going in and setting that up. So for example, it would say by default, welcome to GWN, log in for free or log in with the password. So we'll just cancel that. Then we go down to the maintenance option. We've got upgrade, backup and restore, diagnostics, intelligent detection. Now that we've enabled those security options, so we'll just go through detection and actually improve the security protection. As you can now see, it's showing excellent. So we'll just wait for these other 3 to complete, which just takes a few seconds. So they're all saying excellent, so I'm happy with that. So we've got management platform connection. So for example, it's not registered with GDMS, so I haven't actually connected it to GDMS. We've got internet failure. So for example, if you have a backup internet WAN connection, then you can actually set this up. We've also got mesh node connections. So here, if you're using meshing, it would show you information about the mesh network connections. We've also got TR069. And then we've got the system option. So we've got basic settings where, for example, you change your country, time zone and time servers. You can also disable the LED indicator on the front of the router. However, I've had this on at night and I'm happy to say that the LED is not overpowering. It's not too bright. You can turn it as always off, or you can disable it within a specific time period. Then we've got access management. So here you can change the admin password, which we've already done when we first accessed the router, as you'll remember. So that is the Grandstream GWN7062E Wi-Fi 6 router. Now, as I've said, this is targeted at home users or small business users where, for example, you've got, say, 3 or 4 laptops that you're connecting to the wireless network, or families as well, where you want content control for your kids, or if you're looking to replace your internet service provider's already provided router, then I would certainly recommend this one. It's packed full of features, and with the content control, you can restrict your kids from accessing various apps, websites and so on. So it's a fantastic piece of kit for what you get for your money. That will do it for this video. As usual, I'll put links and useful information in the video description, so go and check that out if you want, or if you want to just check this out on the Grandstream website, I'll also put links to that. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll be back again soon with more videos. Bye for now.